Good evening. My name is Melissa Cassidy. I am the College of Law's Senior Director of Development. Whether you are here in the Melanie Gray Ceremonial Courtroom this evening or turning in via Zoom, on behalf of all of us at the College of Law, welcome to the 5th Annual Alumni of Color Awards ceremony. I'm thrilled to open the ceremony this evening to honor some of the finest and most influential members of the College of Law community. We are here tonight to honor Tanuja Denny, Scott De La Vega, and Stacy Dennis Taylor. Before we begin the program, I would like to acknowledge our Law Alumni Weekend title sponsors, Richard Alexander, Law 82, and Kevin Toomey, Law 12, partners of Arnold and Porter, and tonight's reception sponsor, the Central New York Women's Bar Association. Thank you for helping make tonight's ceremony and party afterwards possible. Together, we acknowledge with respect the Onondaga Nation, the fire keepers of the Haudenosaunee, the indigenous people on whose ancestral lands Syracuse University now stands. Now it's my pleasure to hand the program over to Mark O'Brien, class of 2014. Mark is the immediate past president of our Syracuse University Law Alumni Association and a member of the Inclusion Network. Thank you.
Melissa, thank you very much, and welcome to all of you, fellow alumni, students, faculty, friends, whether you're here in person or you're watching us on Zoom. In addition to being the immediate past president of the SULA board, I also was president of APULSA and a member of KLSA when I was a student here. So this is a very special program to me, as I know it is to you. It is a deeply special program, and I see many heads nodding, so I know that you agree with that. As you know, it's an opportunity for us as a College of Law family to celebrate some pretty awesome accomplishments and extraordinary contributions of our people. Tonight's celebration, I don't think, is by chance. I don't think the successes of our honorees that we're celebrating tonight is by accident. We would not be here tonight but for the sacrifices of our ancestors, both literally and figuratively, the trailblazers who came before us and made it possible for you and for me to attend a renowned law school and earn a competitive edge in a profession that even the American Bar Association acknowledges is overrepresented by white men and women. We stand on the shoulders of giants, people like William Herbert Johnson, Jose Bahamande Gonzalez, Theodore McKee, Judge Rodney Thompson, who is here tonight, Ramon Rivera, Suk-Jun Lee, Paula Johnson, who is here tonight, Susan Yu, Vince Cohen, James Graves, Natasha James Walden, Benita Miller, who is here tonight as well, Alex Galvez, Jose Perez, Carrie Ng, and so many others. And tonight we carry that work forward, not only for our law school and community at large, but especially for our future alumni, the students who are here, to ensure that if you have ever not seen yourself within these walls or in this profession, you know that we are here for you and we are here with you. When I was a law student, the ability to share experiences and culture and heritage in the Asian Pacific American Law Student Association and the Korean Law Students Association, that was foundational for me. And I'm certain the same is true for many of you and your experiences in law school as well, through the Black Law Students Association, the Latin American Law Students Association, the South Asian Law Students Association, Outlaw, the Middle Eastern Law Students Association, or whichever network you call home. It is my privilege tonight, speaking of those organizations, to welcome the student leaders to the podium to share with you and all of us updates on what they are doing here at the College of Law today, as well as some personal reflections on tonight's festivities. So first, I'll introduce them and then call them up one by one. Brandon Cho is a 2L and president of APULSA. Tavil Francis is a 2L and president of BALSA. Marisol Estrada Cruz is a 3L and president of LALSA. Rohan Bhattacharji is a 2L and president of SALSA. And Sean Gasky is a 3L and president of KLSA. Let's welcome them all here tonight. So first, I'd like to call to the podium Brandon to give us an update on APULSA.
Hello and good evening, everyone. I want to thank the administration and faculty for putting this lovely event together. After taking on leadership roles, I now realize that it's quite the ordeal to organize an event. So thank you for your hard work and inviting me to speak on behalf of the Asian Pacific American Law Students Association. APALSA, for short, continues to dedicate its efforts towards building a vibrant community here at the Syracuse College of Law. Our organization aims to develop our members professionally and present them opportunities to connect with one another and to take that first step into their careers. Last week, our organization co-sponsored a screening of journalist Samantha Chung's documentary, The Mississippi Delta Chinese, which demonstrated that Asian Americans have been present here in the United States for generations, much longer than conventionally known. Their preserved stories contribute to the vast tapestry of American history through their presence in their communities. And just yesterday, Melvin and Melvin PLLC invited APALSA to tour their office downtown. One of the partners, Roger Bradley, who is a Schuylkill alum, guided us during our tour and imparted a valuable lesson. Be optimistic and hold your integrity in high regard. He said that no matter how much one may feel like they are in a tough spot and uncertain about the future, it all works out in the end. If it hasn't worked out, then it's not the end. For us as students and generally as people, it's important to stay optimistic about the future. Additionally, he pointed out the importance of keeping your integrity and reputation, for that will follow you and speak for you. For some of our members, it was their first time inside of a law firm, but I think for all of us, we left with a worthwhile experience. Tonight, we are here to celebrate and express our appreciation for our accomplished alumni of color and their exemplary careers. Their representation and contributions to the community is something we should all strive for and to achieve. In the spring, APALSA will partner with undergraduate AAPI organizations to host our first pre-law day. It will be an opportunity for these students to see Dineen Hall, listen to a variety of experiences, and ask questions about possibly pursuing a legal education. Like the 3Ls who welcome my class, but who have now graduated, we welcome our 1L class and the next generation of law students to be optimistic, maintain their integrity, and give back to their communities. Thank you.
I'd now like to welcome Tavil to the podium to talk about BASA.
Hello, College of Law, alumni, faculty, students, families, and friends. My speech is going to be short because, social anxiety. But I guess you already know my name. My name is Tavil Francis, current 2L and the current Black Law Students Association president. I want to share with you some of the reasons why I ran for president. I ran for president in order to achieve three main goals. First, to ensure that first-year students of color feel supported academically, socially, and culturally. Second, to create safe spaces here at the College of Law where students of color feel supported, encouraged, and able to fellowship. And third, and last, or not last, but to work with faculty, staff, and our distinguished alumni for the mission of professional or career development through the lenses of your successful careers. However, what I am aware is that, I am aware of the power of kinship. So for BALSA to achieve the ambitious goals that I have set out for us, we need your help. By that, I mean, please continue to support us by answering our emails, volunteering for academic and social events, providing donations and sponsorships where needed, especially the donations part. No, JK, we need all those things equally as much. But I'm really happy, I'm honored and humbled to stand here today to continue your legacy here at the College of Law. And I hope that, I look forward to working with you. Thank you.
I'd now like to welcome to the podium Marisol to talk to us about BALSA.
Good evening, everyone, and happy Hispanic, Latinx, and Latin Heritage Month. My name, thank you. I don't represent all of us, but I'm here tonight to celebrate the legacy and those whose shoulders we stand on. As some of you may or may not know, the legal profession is composed of less than 5% of Latin people and less than 2% of Latin American women. LALSA, the Latin American Law Student Association, is a student-led organization that aims to provide social support, professional support, and create a community where our students can thrive and increase that number, because 2% or 5% is not enough. When I was asked to reflect about today's event, I couldn't help but think about the current Hurricane Fiona that has devastated Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and the surrounding islands. That hurricane hit earlier this week, but many, if not the entire islands, but most are left without power. And so I urge you guys to donate money to organizations that have been fully vetted. We have students that are directly affected, and thankfully our LALSA treasurer is on the ground helping with direct relief. His name is Richard Dominguez, and I would like to give him a shout out. And I would like to encourage you guys to donate so his efforts can continue. In my reflection, I also thought about the current migrants that are being bused and sent to Cape Cod. And this is a direct result of Governor Abbott and Governor DeSantis. I couldn't stop thinking about this because 60 years ago, the same thing was happening. 60 years ago, racism fueled these attorneys that are part of our legal profession to send these people to the north, promising them jobs and houses that did not exist. That continues today, and it is our responsibility to hold the legal community accountable and make sure this does not continue happening. So LALSA is here to uplift these current events, but also continue to create a safe space for our community. Currently, we have a Café con Leche series organized to talk about what it takes to create change. And this is part of that conversation. We're gonna talk about the reproductive issues that Latin American women have had. A lot of you know that birth control was tested on Puerto Rican women before it was given to any other women. A lot of you know that there are current uprisings in Latin America, and we're gonna talk about that. But we'll also be hosting professional development sessions with people like Judge Kinsella, who has opened her chambers so that law students like us can get to see what being a judge actually looks like. Not only that, but we're partnering with BALSA to create a bigger community, because there is such an intersection of our multiple identities, and we want to create a community where we can all thrive. Thank you.
I'd now like to welcome Rohan to the podium to talk to us about salsa.
Thank you, Mark. Namaskar, Assalamu alaikum, and good evening. My name is Rohan Bhattacharji. I'm the president of the South Asian Law Students Association. In 2018, the French team won the FIFA World Cup. It happened to be the case that 14 of the 23 members of the winning team were of African descent. In that context, Trevor Noah, a famous South African comedian, had commented in jest that Africa had won the World Cup. Taking serious offense to Noah's characterization, one fine morning, the French ambassador to the United States furiously wrote to Noah, stating, and I quote, "The football players were educated in France, they learned to play soccer in France, and they are French citizens. They are proud of their country, France. Unlike the United States of America, France does not refer to their citizens based on their race, religion, or origin. To us, there is no hyphenated identity." Trevor Noah's immediate response to that was, why can't they be both African and French? He went on to add, I love it that in America, people can still celebrate their identity in their Americanness. You can go to a St. Patrick's Day parade in America celebrating that you're Irish. You can go to a Puerto Rican Day parade in America still celebrating the fact that you are Puerto Rican and American at the very same time. It is to celebrate this duality of identities that has brought us here today. We should not take this for granted, but very few countries in the world have this duality of identities, allow this duality of identities. The South Asian Law Students Association's core values lie in further embracing and striving for the inclusivity of such dual identities within the US legal system. This year, our organization has approximately 10 members. Members belong to the College of Law and the Maxwell School of Citizenship. 6 of the 10 of them are international students. Throughout this academic year, we envision to bring forth and share an important Indian subcontinental perspective on our cultures, ways of life, as well as spread awareness on important geopolitical perspectives of the global South. As you might know, that Pakistan is reeling from severe floods, and since people have been mentioning natural disasters all over, I would urge that you consider donating to the cause of Pakistan. We aspire to do this through collaborations with the good offices within the university, and of course, with the help of our alumni. Thank you for your time.
I'd now like to welcome Sean Gasky to the podium to talk to us about KLSA.
Good evening. My name is Sean Young-Gasky, and I'm humbled to be here to speak on behalf of Korean Law Student Association. Many of us in this room are first generation, whether high school graduates, college graduates, or law school students. For many Asian Americans and Korean Americans today, we face the feat of being the first in our families to reach these places of higher education and accomplishments without the direction or social capital from our families, to be in spaces where we may not see much of our community in. Asian Americans make up less than 6% of all US attorneys, and Korean Americans make up even less, despite being one of the largest subgroups in America. Although KILSA is a smaller organization, we are just as impactful. Korean Law Student Association seeks to support and uplift students through community, direction, and networking to create a more confident and competent Korean attorneys in the legal field. I remember after being remote due to COVID, I really felt like I had no one to lean on until I found KILSA. For me, this organization was a small oasis of community that I could talk to, get advice from, and bond with, which enriched my law school experience. We held potluck dinners, panels, went out together, held shared networking contacts, and moving forward, I strive to keep the culture alive for Sukol students and be what I needed as a first generation law school student. I look forward to working with all of you, so please look out for any KILSA emails. Thank you.
It's now my pleasure to welcome our Dean, Dean Craig Boyes, the 12th Dean of the College of Law, to the podium for a special presentation.
Thank you, Mark, and special thanks and appreciation to you for being our MC this evening. Our Alumni Awards are the capstone of Law Alumni Weekend, now a well-established tradition thanks to our alumni. You drive our mission, you inspire our students, and I'm truly in awe of your passion for your alma mater. Before we continue with the awards this evening, I'd also like to thank the SULA Board and the SULA Inclusion Network for their hard work in preparing for this evening and choosing tonight's honorees with the utmost seriousness. Recognizing pioneering alumni of color is one of the most tangible ways that we can foster a diverse and inclusive learning community. You may recall that in my State of the College address yesterday morning, I shared with you that 32% of our entering class are students who identify as people of color. Of them, 30 are Asian, 22 are Black, 23 are Hispanic or Latino, 9 are Puerto Rican, 4 are Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander, 4 are American Indian or Alaskan Native, and 12 are 2 or more ethnicities. Ours is a truly diverse community, and I look forward to multiplying the ways that we can engage our alumni of color to advance our mission and our goal to best position our students and graduates for success in the careers of their choice. Mingling with our alumni, learning from them is an essential component of that vision. Tonight, I look forward to celebrating 3 alumni of color whose service to the legal profession, to our college and their communities make them superb role models for our students, well deserving of honor. Tanuja, Scott, Stacy, your example, which many of us have had the privilege of witnessing, reflects an impact in the world and your passion for inclusiveness and empowerment. And I hope that our students seek you out for your wisdom and learn from you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for all that you do. Before we bestow awards, however, let's pause to recognize and celebrate a truly superb individual. On the news of the passing earlier this year of Jose Bahamande Gonzalez, class of 1992, shockwaves reverberated through his many communities, here at Syracuse University, at the University of Maryland, among his colleagues in the Association of American Law Schools, at his firms, Miles and Stockbridge and Cleary Gottlieb, in his beloved Baltimore and beyond. Faculty, students, and colleagues who had the good fortune of knowing Jose mourn his passing with deep appreciation for his generous spirit and his intense focus on mentoring and guiding others. Over his illustrious career, Jose was known for helping people, especially young people and aspiring lawyers, to succeed, whether in his roles as Associate Dean at Maryland Law, as Chief Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Professional Development Officer at Miles, as a classmate, as an alum, the list goes on. Jose was extraordinarily accomplished, and he sought after in all ranks of the legal profession. He selflessly advised, he counseled, and he inspired. But he also held colleagues in the field accountable for not only championing diversity, equity, and inclusion, but operationalizing diversity, equity, and inclusion. Jose was both visionary and operative. Of Jose, who received the LALSA Legacy Award in 2020, the person who nominated him said at the time, "Jose ultimately represents the vision that I want LALSA to represent, excellence." Throughout his career, Jose has not only succeeded for himself, but has elevated his community. As he succeeded, whether at a firm or later at the University of Maryland, he gave people of color and members of the LGBTQ community a voice. At this moment in history, we must look to exalt people of color through our actions, not just our words. These wise words are as true today as they were 2 years ago. 5 years ago, we conferred the first Syracuse University College of Law LALSA Legacy Award. That award recognizes Syracuse University College of Law alumni who have made significant contributions to their communities and who have achieved through their professional career excellence and recognition in their fields. This award also celebrates and recognizes the dedicated efforts that members of the Latin American community have made in overcoming the underrepresentation of Latinos in the legal field. Tonight it is my privilege and honor to rededicate the Syracuse University College of Law LALSA Legacy Award in memory of Jose and in his name. In a few minutes, we will bestow the award upon this year's recipient, who for the first time and forever will be known as the 2022 recipient of the Jose Bahamande Gonzalez Law 92 Legacy Award. The award that bears his name is reserved for alumni who, like Jose, have demonstrated their commitment to excellence and inclusion with grace and kindness always. Before we formalized our plans for tonight's dedication, we called Jose's husband, Gerald, with whom we had been in touch earlier in the year on the news of Jose's passing. And we also called one of Jose's closest friends, Dana Morris, class of 1994. Gerald and Dana could not be with us in Syracuse this evening, but they are here in spirit. And although he is grieving, Gerald is filled with pride, and he asked me to share this message with all of you. To all who are attending today, please accept my thanks and appreciation for honoring my late husband and life partner for more than 27 years by renaming the LALSA Legacy Award the Jose Bahamande Gonzalez Law 92 Legacy Award. I am deeply moved by this tribute, and I know that Jose would be too. Jose's identity as a gay Latino lawyer was core to his life's work as a bridge builder. He created connections between all kinds of people so that the legal profession could be more diverse and inclusive, and so that we could all benefit from the full measure of everyone's talent. That impulse is part of what led him to found a LALSA chapter when a student here at the College of Law, and made him very proud to be a Syracuse alum. And please let me share my congratulations to Scott A. de la Vega on receiving this award. I know Jose would be very proud that such a dedicated public servant is the first recipient of an award bearing his name. Thank you for celebrating Jose's legacy in this very meaningful way. With deepest respect, Gerald Popko. Thank you, Gerald. And please know that our thoughts are with you and that we are grieving with you. And that Dana wanted to convey this message in particular to our LALSA students and in memory of Jose.
Good evening, students, SU faculty and staff and friends. I'm Dana Morris, and I'm a very proud alumnus of SU Law. I congratulate LALSA on this wonderful event, and I regret that I'm unable to be there with you. Thank you so much, though, for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts about my fellow alumnus and my very dear friend and colleague, Jose Bahamande Gonzalez, and the newly renamed Jose Bahamande Gonzalez LALSA Legacy Award. Anyone who ever had the pleasure of meeting Jose will remember his high energy and warmth, his lively sense of humor, and his larger-than-life presence. They would remember his humanity, his innate inclusiveness, his deep empathy for others, and the exceptional depths of his kindness. He was very proud of his Cubano and Puerto Rican heritage, and he shared it with everyone. He drew us in like a warm embrace, drawing us into his friendship and his culture. Trained in business and also trained as a lawyer, Jose was a very smart and strategic problem solver. He was a man of action. He was a driving force in promoting the value of diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace, in education, and in the legal profession. Long before DEI became terminology that's now so familiar to so many of us, Jose was living and breathing those values. He walked the walk before it was vogue. It was just simply who he was. As a law student, for example, Jose recognized the need for an affinity group that was geared to students of Hispanic and Latino descent. So he went to work and he established SU Law's first Latin American Law Student Association, which now lives on with you. He began to collaborate with the Office of Admissions on ways that the law school could increase its representation of students of color being recruited into the law school with very amazing results. And you won't be surprised when I say that this pattern of forging these new efforts continued with every law school and really every community of which Jose was part. He recruited and mentored hundreds of law students over the years, including me, It's because of Jose that I applied to law school. And that's something that I'm so grateful for. As an alumna, I'm also very proud to see the fruits of Jose's labors reflected in you through LAWSA. I applaud you for memorializing Jose's legacy with this award. He would be so honored, so pleased, so happy. And I know that Jose would be very proud to see you, future attorneys, establishing your own personal legacies in the legal profession. Thank you so much for this very good work that you've done. I wish you the best.
Thank you, Dana. We look forward to seeing you back in Syracuse soon. At this time, let's give Jose the applause he so richly deserves for all that he accomplished and all that he will continue to do through the lives of those he inspired for years to come. Thank you. Mark, I look forward to applauding tonight's awardees.
I don't know about you, but I didn't bring the tissues tonight, and I should have known better. Before we hear from tonight's honorees, as Dean Boyes mentioned, I want to give a little bit of an introduction to the awards themselves. The Alumni of Color Awards are presented on behalf of the Syracuse University Law Alumni Association Inclusion Network and the College of Law and these wonderful student organizations as well. The Asian Pacific Islander Legacy of Excellence Award recognizes Asian, Asian American, and Pacific Islander alumni who demonstrate service to the API community or valuable representation of the API community. They achieve distinguished accomplishments in their chosen field, and they have empowered and inspired the community through their mentorship or the work they do. This award is co-sponsored by APALSA, KLSA, and SALSA. As the Dean mentioned, the Jose Bahamande Gonzalez Legacy Award recognizes alumni who have made significant contributions to their community and have achieved through their professional career excellence and recognition in their fields. The award also celebrates and recognizes the dedicated and inspiring efforts that members of the Latin American community have made in overcoming the underrepresentation in the legal field. And the Balsa William Herbert Johnson Legacy Award recognizes outstanding individuals or organizations who, in the course of their career or endeavors, have been trailblazers and achieved excellence in the areas of legal service, legal education, and/or social justice through activism, leadership in diversity and equality, and support and mentorship to colleagues, students, and members of the community. Now, without further ado, let's hear from this year's recipients.
My name is Tanuja Daney, and I'm the president and CEO of the Geraldine R. Dodge Foundation and a College of Law graduate class of 1998. There were a number of law professors who impacted my life in subtle and not so subtle ways. First and foremost, Professor Donna Arzt. She has passed away. We were all very saddened by that, but she was my Jessup Moot Court advisor, international relations professor, just so deeply committed and passionate. Syracuse University, the College of Law, just means so much to me. My husband, who has a doctorate from the Maxwell School, he's a historian and now an academic, and my son is a junior at the college. It just feels really great to be able to come home. My career trajectory is not straight. I was a traditional corporate lawyer, securities lawyer, did deals, contracts in a big law firm. And then I moved in-house, and I knew that I wanted to do more. I wanted to lead people. I wanted to get into the business, and then I moved into the business side of a large Fortune 200 energy company. And then I was faced with a really important decision, a decision that really challenged my values and my purpose. And I left that corporate career, and the stars aligned, where I could bring kind of those parallel lives of my volunteer work, my passion for the community, my passion for the state of New Jersey where I live and have raised a family and raising a family, and they kind of came together. It's an honor to be recognized as an Indian American woman. You know, representation matters. And, you know, early in my career, I would never have dreamt that, you know, I would be recognized in this way. But I'm really hoping that to share my story and that it's inspiring, that, you know, some other folks might see themselves in my story and say like, okay, well, if this person took a lot of different ways to get to her career and she seems pretty satisfied, maybe I can do it too. And that, you know, there's no one set path towards anything. There's multiple paths, but at the end of the day, we can be in the driver's seat. So I am delighted and I'm humbled, truly honored.
I am Scott De La Vega, and I am currently the Associate Solicitor for General Law at the U.S. Department of the Interior. I graduated from Syracuse Law School in 1994. My fondest memories of law school are probably my participation in the trial and appellate advocacy competitions at Syracuse. You know, one of the biggest reasons I wanted to go to law school was to become a litigator. And Syracuse has a wonderful program for that. I was one of those rare students going into law school that knew exactly what I was going to do after law school. I come from a family of a lot of veterans from the military, and so I knew that I was going to go into the Army JAG Corps after law school as long as I got in. It has shaped most of my subsequent career, from my time in investment banking, closing $100 million deals, to my time now in the federal government, where I get to assist and help develop policies for the country that help us preserve our natural resources, federal lands. These things are all very important to me and have been defining in my career. This award means a great deal to me, this LAUSA Legacy Award. You know, LAUSA was not that large when I was a first year at Syracuse Law over 30 years ago. It was called SALSA back then, and there were not that many Hispanics in the law school at the time. But one of them in particular was a good friend of mine. His name was Luis Corujo. And Luis was just this remarkable young man. He was very charismatic, incredibly intelligent, and there was nothing he wanted more than to be a lawyer. And he was just so happy and so proud to be in law school. Well, Luis came into the first year of law school sick, and many of us didn't know it. But as the year progressed, he got sicker, but he never gave up on his studies. And in fact, he would ask myself and others to bring over some assignments. And by the end of our first year, Luis had passed away. And it was a great loss to the Syracuse law community, to LAUSA. At a time when we are at almost, Hispanics represent almost 18% of the US population, and constitute less than 5% of the legal profession. If my receiving this award inspires even one young person like Luis to become a lawyer, then this award means the world to me.
My name is Stacy Dennis Taylor. I graduated from the College of Law in 2014, and I am the City Courts Bureau Chief at the Onondaga County District Attorney's Office. I grew up in Syracuse. When I had my oldest son, I needed to be by my support system. So the fact that there's a law school right here at home was a blessing. And I was a legacy because my mother graduated from there in '99. And I probably have the year wrong. She graduated from there. And so I was familiar with some of the alumni, met with them, and started to build my tribe and my network. My mother made me promise when I did enroll at SU that I would join BALSA, and she promised that not only would there be resources available to me as a student, so academically, but the people that would be there and the faculty advisors and the professors that they would connect me with. So all of my fondest memories are tied in some way to BALSA. Even the most challenging ones, say stepping outside of my comfort zone and trying a trial competition. Even though by nature I am a shy and introverted person, it was my fellow BALSA members that encouraged me to try new things, or if I felt that I didn't do well, maybe give me some tips on how to be better. I cried when I heard that I got this award because everyone knows I'm a very organized person. I'm an A-type personality and I obsess about things. So did I intend to get this award in my lifetime? Yes, but it was a surprise to me because the work that I want to do for SUCAL and the students up there and my fellow alums, I'm definitely not done doing it. And I'm getting emotional just now, but I've been through some pretty tough times in my life, and it was my BALSA family. It was my Suzette Melendez, my Professor Paula Johnson, and so many others up there that have given me strength, sent me random books of speeches. Sophie. The woman that I am sitting in this chair right now is largely in part because of the people I met at the school. So the fact that they saw me worthy of being awarded just really touches and humbles me. And I'm just excited for what we have and what we're going to do together in the future. It means the world to me.
Stacy, you mentioned you like speeches. I noticed in Scott's video, he has a book on his shelf among all the law books that said power quotes. So be sure to talk with him about that. Now for the big moment. I'd like to welcome up to the front of the stage the leaders of SALSA, APALSA, and KLSA for the first presentation of the Asian Pacific Islander Legacy of Excellence Award and the 2022 recipient, Tanuja Deni, class of 1998. Next, I'd like to welcome up for their next presentation, President of LALSA, Marisol Estrada Cruz, for the presentation of the 2022 and very first Jose Bahamande Gonzalez Legacy Award recipient from the class of 1992, Scott de la Vega. And I apologize, I said that wrong. Class of 1994. I was just trying to trim a couple of years for you, sir. And last but certainly not least, I'd like to welcome the president of BALSA, Taville Francis, forward for the presentation of the 2022 BALSA William Herbert Johnson Legacy Award and its recipient, my classmate, my friend, and my colleague, Stacy Dennis Taylor from the class of 2014. Before we close tonight, I would like to welcome to the podium Erica Simonson from the class of 2019. She's a member of the SULA Board of Directors. She's also a co-chair of our Inclusion Network for some concluding remarks.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you everyone for being here tonight. Thank you to everyone who made this wonderful event possible. And I want to extend a thank you to the students for being here tonight. I am so proud to know that we have students that are doing the work that you are doing. Your The students at the College of Law are so lucky to have your advocacy and your leadership, and the legal profession will be very lucky to have you as members very shortly. On behalf of myself, Astrid Quinones, and the entire Inclusion Network, I want to extend a sincere thank you to our award recipients tonight for the work that you have done for the College of Law, for your communities, and for the legal profession. And I'd also like to extend a congratulations on this wonderful achievement. These awards represent the best that the College of Law has to offer, and it is just an honor to be in this room with you tonight. Uplifting the accomplishments of our alumni of color is of the utmost importance, and the Inclusion Network hopes to continue to do that through these awards and in everything that we do. But tonight's celebration is not over. I do hope that you will join us up in the atrium for a reception to continue celebrating you and your awards. Thank you so much.
Erica, thank you very much. I know I'm the last thing standing between you and the party, the food, and the chance to personally congratulate each of our award recipients tonight, but I'd be remiss without some additional thank yous and acknowledgements. First of all, of course, to each of this year's honorees for all that you have done for us, our communities, our school, and our profession. Thank you. Thanks also go to each of the student leaders who are here tonight, as well as the SULA Inclusion Network, particularly, and Erica mentioned her name, Astrid Quinones, whose thoughtful leadership and stewardship made this year's ceremony possible, and she has led the Inclusion Network and been a proud member of our board of directors of the SULA board with her head held high and with distinction. So I want to thank her. Yes. To the College of Law, Dean Boyes, Dean Melendez, Sophie Desjardins, Melissa Cassidy, Kristen Duggleby, and so many others, thank you for your support of our alumni and our students. And last but not least, thanks to all of you. Your presence here tonight and all that you do to give back in your time, talent, and treasure, that enriches us all, and it has to continue. So thank you. Now let's go party.